My dear sisters, peace be with you. I'm here now. Today we begin our very specific focus, and so far we have been guiding about our background, the riches that I received from God, the riches that I have, and how I have been blessed all through my life with my wonderful positive characters from my childhood till today. And also, in spite of the shades that I have, still I have brightness to live. So, we'll start today the main focus God experience and intimacy with God. It's very important for us to see how far our life is connected to God directly, one to one, face to face. Oftentimes, we do a lot of time in prayer, we spend a lot of energy, we do a lot of singing, lot of liturgical activities. But ultimately, are we connected to God? Are we really in a deep experience with the God? This is a question mark. Search for God and listen. God speaks in the innermost being of my life. But I am busy with doing the minimum, falsely satisfied with some rituals, just read some passages, talk a lot, sing a lot, recite a lot, but listen practically nothing. The feeling of the presence of God intimately is a big question mark. Are we connected to God? Now, we have got an excellent model of a holy person with our own life. Our Holy Father Pope Francis is a model of holiness, a man who was able to reject the new vehicle that was there in front of him for his vehicle. He said, "No, I'll take the ordinary bus, ordinary van with the other cardinals." When he was given a new dress, all the new things, he said, "No, I don't need." When he's given a new palace, a big palace, the Vatican, he said, "No, I don't need. I can always remain with this limited guest room." It's very important for us to know the holiness of the person is depicted in his choices, in his lifestyle, where we come across a lot of people in our religious communities brooding, complaining, arguing, putting down others, demanding. And this is a clear sign of lack of spiritual experience. I think probably we'll have to learn from this great Pope. And at the end, he says, the poor church is for the poor. The church is supposed to be poor. This poverty comes from the poor Jesus, born of a poor Mother Mary. Therefore, we'll go into different things the way he sees. You look at that. The Pope is the supreme pontiff, is the chief of this particular place. At the end, he says, in a corner, is sitting among the last bench, and he's the boss of the place. The humility, and he comes and washes the feet. When I was a cardinal, he used to go in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, and goes and washes the feet of the people in the hospital, in the prison. This is not anything new for him. And he goes and cleanses. As a cardinal, he was doing all these things. And traveling the tram, the public transport, and it was a normal thing for him. He was coming and doing the work in the huge palace in Argentina, but he was going back, he was cooking for his friar, elderly member of the community. And he was there filled with love for the poor, love for the children, love for the weak and the physically challenged, all these people. You find completely a new life, a lot of inspirations. People are touched by him because of his name, who bear this mark, the dress of Francis of Assisi. You lost everything because he has chosen Jesus. And that's very important. He said at the end, pray for me. So you'll come across a man of peace, man of creation, man for the poor cosmos, man for poverty, poor people, visiting the refugees in the soup kitchen and calling everyone to examine our conscience. So now I want to share with you some examples wherein people have got deep experience with God. I know one brother from Montfort, brother Jacob, and he was a highly qualified man, and he left the job in an English medium school, and he left and joined the Montfort brothers, and he was asked to be in a remote village in Chhattisgarh, and he was there as he was giving education for the children, for the tribal children, interior villages, The Vishwa Hindu Parishad group came, 4 or 5 people. One night they came and dragged him, beat him, and tied his hand behind, tied his leg. And they said, "Where is the sickle?" He called one to the another. He said, "No, I didn't bring." The idea was to bring the sickle, cut his throat, and kill him on the spot. This was actually pre-planned, well planned, but Brother Jacob was alone at that day, and he was not prepared. And the people came, and he said, "No, I am not doing anything." They said, "You are converting people. You are converting the boys. You are converting everybody. This is not for what you have come." He said, "No, I am not converting anybody. All of them are Hindus, and I don't convert anybody. I am only educating them for their welfare." Then they started beating. "Don't talk like this." Then they started beating, and unfortunately, they did not bring the sickle with them. The sickle to cut his throat, knife. So they said, "Okay, let's go." It's for midnight. They went, bring the knife, and by the time he was alone, he was beaten everywhere, blood was coming. He was telling just one thing: "My God, my Jesus called me, and my Jesus will never betray me." The words was coming again and again in his mind. It was, "Father," I was repeating only this particular word: "My Jesus called me, and my Jesus will never betray me." And then he was there crying, he was praying, repeating the same words. Every body was paining. And then they came around midnight, 4 o'clock they came. They said, again they started beating. By the time they were beating, long from far away, the forest, some people are coming and they are finding the dry leaves sound was there. And these 4 people, they sensed that somebody's there, they'll be catching him. They ran and left him there. Jacob, he told, "My Jesus called me, and my Jesus will never betray me." These people came and took him to the hospital, settled the whole thing. He came for recuperation, then went back again. Now the same brother, Monto brother, is there with them, again in the same place with the poor people. Commitment. This is God experience. God experience, God's search, God's presence, all one and the same. What is important is, am I connected to God? Who is the author of my life? Who guides me? Who tells me whom I am listening to? And one thing I would like to share is that experience of God. St. Francis of Assisi is talking with his brother, Brother Leo. So both of them are there at the beginning stages. And then once Brother Leo is asking St. Francis, "Brother Francis, do you know how do you get God experience?" And Francis said, "Don't worry, man, you tell. How do you get God experience?" Leo was a little upset. He said, "No, I do not know how to tell, but I will tell you. I will tell you how I got God experience. Don't get upset with me." Francis said, "No, no, I'm not going to get upset." And then Brother Leo is telling, "My dear Brother Francis, I got God experience by being lazy. Don't get angry." He said, "No, no, 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 I'm not getting angry. It's very, very curious. I'm very curious about it. Just tell me more about it." Then Brother Leo is telling, "Brother Francis, how do you expect a busy man connected to God? Morning 5 o'clock gets up, 5:30 morning prayer, 6:30 Holy Mass, 7 o'clock meditation, 7:30 breakfast, 8 o'clock the household chores, then 9:30 go for job, going for school or hospital, 10:30 comes for coffee break, again 11 o'clock goes and he goes does the work, and 12:30 comes for lunch, and 1:30 goes again after some little nap, goes again, 2:30 comes back, have some coffee, then 3 o'clock he goes back, again 6:30 is coming back, watches some TV, 7:30 prayer, 7 o'clock come for prayer, 7:30 meditation, 8:30 supper, 9:30 night prayer, and 10 o'clock bed, finished. This is a mechanical work, a machine, living like a machine. You are just getting to the rat. You are in a rat race. Everybody is going, therefore you go. Where do they go? We don't know. Let us go. Let us go forward. Where? Oh, they come for breakfast. The next one bell is ringing. All of them go somewhere else. Where are they going? They are going for prayer. Okay, one more bell is come. Where are they going? They're all going for morning garden work. So like that, mechanical work can be done without any connection to God. You may be praying exactly on time, very punctual for prayer, doing all the 3 Psalms, doing all the meditation time, sitting there. But who knows what's happening? intimately am I connected to God. So there is some need for time for myself with God and me. This for people it may be laziness, sitting in the choir, sitting in the chapel. But am I connected to God? Do I have a personal time with my God? This days of quarantine period of coronavirus, there's a lot of time for reflection, lot of time. But you want to again and again engage yourself. But no silence, no inner silence, no solitude, no listening to God. This is a very big issue. And searching for God is very important. Brother Leo, one day he went to the mountain in Assisi, then comes back one early morning, comes and tells the brothers, "Come on, brothers, I've seen the feet of the Lord on the mountain. Come, I'll show you." The brothers are telling, "My dear man, how can you see the feet of God on the mountains?" They said, "No, I will show you. I just directly coming from the mountain now, I've seen the feet of God." They said, "Cannot be, man. The Lord does not walk with the feet. No, he is in the spirit." They said, "Don't talk like that. I have seen, I'm coming there to show you. Come, I'll show you. I challenge." Then they went for consoling him. They went and they said, "See, look at brother. See the feet of the Lord. See the one more foot of the Lord. This one more foot of the Lord." Then another brother told, "My dear man, Leo, have you never seen the feet of the buffalo? The stamping of the buffalo? Look at this. This buffalo feet. That's another buffalo feet. This is another buffalo feet." Then this brother Leo is telling, what is the use of talking to brothers who only think of buffalo, who speak of buffalo, who look at buffalo only? This is the thing. If you are connected to God, if you are connected to Jesus, you will listen the sound of Jesus. You will listen the presence of Jesus. You will feel the experience the presence of Jesus. Otherwise, most of us, we have just mechanical things. We don't have anything else. We want only magics. We want only readings. We want rubrics. We want liturgies, but no experience of God. And the third one is the hunger for God. Hunger for God is another important thing. These are all stories from a Greek author, Nikos Kazantzakis. The title is St. Francis of Assisi. It's a marvelous piece of a conversation. It's like a novel it is given. So you'll find this brother Leo is gone for baking, is gone for work. At the end they give something. He's coming, and I was walking on the streets of Assisi, and the afternoon came. He's hungry, but he wants to spend time with God first. He goes there, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. The sun is setting, 6 o'clock, and people are all just getting into their house, closing the chimney, closing their windows, putting out the light. They are gone to bed. This man, Leo, from morning till evening, is walking the streets of Assisi. He is telling, "I have been walking all through the day. I have the food. I am hungry, but I don't want to eat now. I want to spend time with God first. I'm hungry for God. My hunger for God is the priority." These people in the world, they have seen the God of their own making. Good food, good family, good house, husband, wife, nice eating, nice sleeping. Finish with them. Their life is over. They were searching for that. They received. But I am searching for God. God in all my dryness. God with all my longing. I need that. This is God experience, searching for God. You'll find Prophet Elijah. You'll find, the passages. I'm not going to give all the biblical quotations here, but I want to enter into an experience. What is important is experience. Reading this text one after another, that is not the main point, but I'm just highlighting this. The Prophet Elijah, he is there in Israel. He goes to Mount Carmel, sitting in a cave, waiting for God, spending time in silence, deeply related, deeply connected to God. And then at the end, there was a big thunder. He comes and sees outside the cave, no, God is not there. There's a lightning, there's a heavy breeze, wind was there. He comes and sees, no, God is not there. Then he goes there. The slightly gentle breeze is flowing, passing through that cave. And Elijah comes and feels, God touches me. God is there. Elijah could sense the presence of God, the gentle breeze. No other people can sense it. But if you are searching for God, you will sense the God's presence. The same Elijah, when he was sitting there, the angel of the Lord appeared to Elijah and asked, "Hey Elijah, what's happening? What brought you here?" And Elijah said, "The love of God brought me here." Yes, sisters, this is the Elijah's experience. He was searching for the love of God. He wanted to spend time in deep silence and solitude. At the end, he found this prophet Elijah experiencing God. The same we will find among disciples these days. We are having this resurrection. After the resurrection, he is appearing to 2 or 3 places here and there, not continuously living. So the Emmaus disciples, they were really upset. They do not know what to do, and they were going back to Emmaus, Jerusalem to Emmaus. And on the way, you find this lot of losing their hope. Everything is gone. At that time, this Jesus comes and accompanies with them, and he says, "My dear children, where do you go?" And they are saying, "What happened? Why you look sad?" And all these things, you know everything. Then they are saying, "This all we came and we believe." The women came and told, "We do not know how to believe that, and now we are here." Then he says, opens the Bible, opens the book, and explains everything. Then they feel okay. After he asks for bread, breaks the bread, gives them, and immediately disappears. Then the disciples, very important, this is the place. The disciples talk to each other. "Have you not felt the burning zeal within you when he was breaking the bread? This is the Lord. This is the Lord." Have you felt the burning sensation? Dear sisters, you must have felt sometimes in your life this sensation of God touching you. God has touched you. God has passed through you. It is open to all people of all religion, have the presence of God, feeling the experience of God. Very often, we religious people, we are missing this particular experience of God. Ramana Maharishi, one young boy of 9th standard, was studying in Madurai, and he went and left. He took the bus train and said, "The Lord is calling me." He went to Arunachala. "The Lord is calling me." He went from Viluppuram by train. From there, started walking more than 50-60 kilometers, walking. And then he found, "I have come to the Lord's place." He went to the mountain, sat there, unmoved, totally. I removed all the shirts and pants, everything, just little mundu he tied. He was there, spending time in deep silence, immersed in silence. He became a mystical saint, Ramana Maharishi. You also know Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He was a pujari. He was in a temple in Calcutta, and people are coming. They are saying, "We are making a puja because we want to receive this particular blessing, want a marriage in a family, family unity, family growth." And next week they come, "Yes, we received. This is for Thanksgiving." So this Ramakrishna is telling, "What is happening to me? I am here 24 hours, night and day, whole day. Nothing is taking place to me. Nothing happens to me. But these people come, they feel that God has touched them, God has blessed them, they go away. But I am here. I am supposed to be the man of God. I am supposed to be a holy person of God. I never experience anything." Then he said, "Nothing doing. I want to experience the peace of Christ. I want to experience the presence of God." God, for them, God means Kali, the goddess Kali. Goddess Kali, I want to have darshan with you, directly, face to face. Otherwise, let my dead body go away from me. He took a knife and kept it, seems. After 3 days, he felt God experience. Dear sisters, we are filled with the Jesus experience now. These days of resurrection, a lot of chances to have. If you want to see face to face Jesus, you can long for it. What is important that we don't have time for God. Let us see, am I prepared to see God face to face? Am I searching for God? Where is God in my life? My entire life. Just look where the God has come. We'll spend some time in deep silence. After a few minutes, we'll take it back again.